Previously on Graphics Card Nightmares. It takes 24 hours for me to go and stream live. I'll be honest with you. Looking down here from the Founders Editions and the AIB Partners, this is the Founders Edition, and they're charging 24 right here. Right here. $2,444.69. Now, and with it having that messed up connector that you connect the power to it, why would I want to pay 24, let's say $24.50? Why am I going to want to pay $2,450? And now, welcome back to Graphics Card Nightmares. Good to see y'all here. This is your boy JJ at PC Gone Wild, not Gone Wild. PC, not gone PC, nothing. JJ's PC Builds, there we go. Well, to cap it off from the last time y'all saw it, I know it's been at least a week or two, but we're back on it once again. As we did through the previous, just to let you know, we were left down to the connectors. The nvidia RTX 4080 connector, the ones that are catching fire, that nvidia now claims, and everybody claims it is a user error. That's more or less saying like it's a loser error. You burn your stuff up, you're a loser. No, just kidding. Don't quote me on it. They just don't want to admit they used cheap plastic. It got too hot and it started to melt, and they looked around the fact that they used cheap plastic. Okay, now if you held up a lighter to the plastic and if it started to melt over 15 to 20 seconds, cheap plastic. Well, that's it. No, yeah, well, even if you brought it up to, let's say, 110 and 120 degrees, and you were putting it in a pan of boiling water, no, don't do that neither. Look, there's many ways to find out how that connector's messed up. One, they didn't use enough metal around between the two connections. Your female connection, they had a slot in there and they only had 50% of the amount of energy. And this is what doesn't make sense to me too, is that the 50% is divided up into two sets of plugs. You have your hot set and you have your cold set. Okay, the top side of the plugs are all positive connections. The lower side of the plug, from the clip part that's at the top, it should be, if I remember right, it should be all positive connections towards the top side, and then on the bottom side should be all grounds. Okay, now if you got let's say 8 hot wires coming from one source, which it does, how are you able to melt the connector? This is the gig. This is where everybody gets flotationed on it. One, you didn't check to see if any one of the wires. No one ran on a multimeter from the beginning of the connection to the end of the connection to make sure there's a solid connection with no ohms in between the wire. If you got 0 ohm connection in between the end to end, okay, and you check all the way through, But if you get one with a high amount of resistance, one lead with a high amount of resistance, then you found your problem. Okay, if you got all of them with low amount of resistance, then that's not the problem. Okay, one thing I've watched all these ideas, all these testing and everything else. The one thing I never seen is anybody get on there and crack out a multimeter. Not one cracked out a multimeter to check the connection between the beginning and the end. Right here, beginning and end. Multimeter. If I dug around in my cabinet drawer here, I can find my multimeter. I'll get me one of those wires. I'll go buy me one of those connectors, and I'll test each one of them. And I'll show it right here up on YouTube. Show each one tested with a multimeter to show that there's least. See, electricity takes the least path to resistance. Okay, least path to resistance. Okay, now if there's resistance in the plug from the beginning to the end, and you can test the resistance, then you found your problem. Okay, but saying it's user error and nobody know that out of how many you sold and over a period of years, nobody knows how to plug in a connector to their GPU. That's what you're telling everybody. That everybody don't know how to plug in the power connector to the GPU. Well, then if that's the case, then make it to where all the power is being derived from the pins on the structure of the board that where the graphics card plugs in. Have it all derived from there and eliminate the wire. Simple said and put. Just eliminate the wire. But that's not what we're here for. That is not what we're here for. No. What I got cooking is something else. I got something cooking for you. Let's see. The RTX 4050. Let's see. How I discovered this was that knowing that next year it's going to be coming up. Let me go ahead and pop you to the smaller screen. Move you over here. Get me out of your way. Let's see, the RTX 4050. This is Graphics Card Nightmares, just to let you know. So, guess what? We got the RTX 4050. It's supposed to be the AD106. Supposed to have 3,840 cores, 120 TMUs, 48 ROPs, 8 gigabytes of GDDR6. Well, no, it's supposed to be 8 gigabytes of VRAM to GDDR6, 128-bit bus. Okay, I pulled this up off of Tech Power Up, looking through to see what it matches with. And guess what? This is the thing. If they're going to sell you this card, okay? If they're going to sell you this card, I hope they sell it to you for the price of the cheaper than the 6600 RX 6600, because if they're going to sell it to you for $400 or $500, because this is what we're going to do. We're going to go to Amazon. I'm taking y'all along with me on this, because I already did a video on this, but we're going to take you along on this. Let's see. Here we go. I don't even have to work hard. Here we go, $349. Okay. Now they get that's the 128-bit 8 gigs right here. Right here. Okay, $349. And that's for the 6600 XT. Now, if I were to go one step further, just to first say, if I were to go to AMD Radeon, you know, let's see. This is my example. So, what we're going to do is we're going to copy this. We're going to go to this and we're going to paste. And we're going to put specs. Okay, there we go. See, the difference is that this one's got a single fan, and this one here is got a single fan. This has got 3,840 core, the 4050, and this has got 2,048. But the rest of it's the same. The rest of it is the same. I do not see how they're saying this card is equal to that card. Okay. Maybe there's something I'm missing. Maybe there's not. Maybe I just need to look at the clock speeds. Maybe that's what we need to look at. So, looking at the clock speed, base clock 1968 megahertz from the AMD RX 6600 XT. Base clock 2505 megahertz. Okay, now the boost clock's 2640 on this new card. And then going to this one and looking at the boost clock is 2589. 2000 megahertz GPS. Huh. And that's 2250. Okay, the thing is this. These two cards, I cannot compare these two. There's no way that this card right here, can be compared to this card here. No way it can be compared to each other. Because the cores are wrong, the clock speeds are wrong, but everything else is the same. Except for the shader models are different on the AMD compared to this one. The new one seems to have less shader models. You know, I don't see the comparison. But there are a lot of similarities to these cards, but the nightmare of it is this right here. This is the nightmare itself. Paying almost $348 for this card. Okay. And I bet you the OC version would equal up to the, well, they're both the OC version. One's the Asus and one's MSI. So $40 cheaper with MSI than Asus. Just let y'all know that. Let's see. See right here, it's 425, 468. This is just the 6600 core. It's not the XT version. Okay. 289. There's a deal. There's a deal right there. $289. But it's not the OC version. But it's RDNA 2. So it could be an OC version, you never know. This is 229, but it's not the XT version, and so on and so forth. Okay, now looking at this this 4050 they say they got coming up, that's going to be one nightmare. Is because now they say they got the 4050, the 4070, the 4070 Ti, the 4080, the 4080 Ti, the 4090, and the 4090 Ti. Okay, that's just. Oh, my bad. Sorry about dropping the mic. That's from now until 2023 when they got the new cards coming out. The 4090 is already out. The 4080 is already out. They're going to be dropping the rest of the new cards in 2023, maybe the first or second quarter. You never know when they're going to do it. Okay. But coming back to what the real nightmare is, we're going to take and look at nvidia graphic cards. And we're going to have a look and see what's going on. If I wouldn't recommend the 730. I already got the 730 and it's junk. I mean, it's DDR3 and it doesn't run well. So 730s, I wouldn't put your money on it. Okay, a good card is you got for 249, you got a 3050. That's not so much of a nightmare, but I hear a lot of bad reviews on the 3050, but don't quote me on it. You could probably get a great deal on it. The 2060 for 274, I wouldn't. I mean, you got an 8 gigabyte card here for 249. 274, you got a 6 gigabyte card. Okay, they're both GDDR6. They're not X. So just to let you know, I wouldn't pay for the 210. The 1050 Ti for $200 I wouldn't get. The GTX 1660 for 274, no way. Look at this. We got the RTX 3070, 8 gigabytes, GDR6, 256-bit for $789. Why would you pay $789 for a card that you can get the 3050 for $200? That don't make sense. And the 1650, why would I get the 1650 for $200 when I can get the 3050 for $200? Doesn't make sense. These prices are not making sense. They got one right here, the 1660 OC. Now remember, the 1650, the 1660, these are all cards that have been out of date. That means there's no more drivers being made for these cards. Why are they selling these cards so expensive? That's a good question. And that's something on the next graphics card nightmares. I will tell you all, and I will get to the bottom of it. I will try to. I'm not going to guarantee it, but I will try to get to the bottom of it. And look what we got here, $500. 3060 Ti. You think you're saving what? $29? $30? Is that real savings? No, that's only like a 2% savings. In my book, that's 2%. Just to let you know. Now, for $159, they got the Zotac 1650 OC, which I've already used the 1650s and the 1660s before. Did not like them. They were a joke, and they still are a joke to me. They're slower than all get out. $703, 3070 Ti OC. Oh, hell no. For $700, you're going to charge me for a 3070, especially when you got coming out next year you got the 4050, 4060, 4070, 4080, and 4090 all up on the board. And I bet you probably charge cheaper for the 4050 than you would the 3070. So why would I buy the 3070 for $700? You're marking up all your old stuff, so when the new stuff comes out, you can mark it up even more. Very smart business, but very stupid to the consumers. You don't think that the customer's stupid? I hope not, because the customer's not stupid. Especially when you charging $400 for a card, this 3060 charging $400 for it. For what? What are you charging $400 for? 12 gigabytes? Oh, please. You better keep racking down the price a little bit. Try putting that on about 150, 160 bucks. Maybe somebody will buy it. Maybe you'll sell more. 199 bucks, 1660 Super. Not buying. Not buying. They keep pressing the 1660 and the 1650 Supers. Don't know why. Because they're crap cards from China. And they know it, and I know it. That they're refurbished from China. That's the only reason I'm not buying them here on Amazon. Is because that's refurbished crap. The A200s, GDR6, is what, 3050 low profile for $400? Again, why would I buy that? That's a refurbished what? You're saying it's the A2000, but you have right here 3050 PCIe professional gaming. What is professional gaming? I think y'all need to explain what professional gaming is. What in the hell does professional gaming? There is no such thing as professional gaming. You play a game and that's end of story. Oh my God. And you all think that you're getting the prices are coming down? It's just the opposite. And I hope you understand it. That's the reason why this is graphics card nightmares. Is because this is a nightmare. From the last video that I did to now, look at the price. Jacked up. And they expect you all to buy the 1050 Ti because you ain't got the money to buy something else. You know, I'm sorry. When people build up their channels up on YouTube here, and you sit there and tell everybody, oh, I got this for a good price, you know, you did, but not the consumer. See, you can get yourself those deals because you worked at it for a period of years. Now, the consumer doesn't work at it because guess what? Maybe the consumer doesn't have a YouTube channel and the consumer doesn't see what's going on and the consumer relies on, you know, who, what, here on YouTube. Okay? It's called common sense. I'm thinking like the little guy. What the little guy is going through. I'm not thinking about myself. I'm not putting my channel above the consumer. Okay, I'm putting myself into the shoes of the consumer, and this consumer comes first. Okay, when people wake up and smell the coffee and come to that realization that the consumer comes first, maybe you'll get more. You'll get better consumers that understand you more of what's going on, other than trying to rob them of what little money they have left. Be honest with the consumer. I'm honest with the consumer. I show the consumer the real-time prices, the now prices, not the prices I would get for a special. I show them the real-time prices. Now, and I know the consumer respects that, and I know they appreciate that too. Moving on. And honestly, I would not buy the 1660s. You know, if you want to move up in the world and you want to get a better graphics card, you know, you can go big and go better. Okay? If you can't find the one that you're not, you know, the one that you want, okay? I got one graphics card in my computer, and it's called an integrated graphics card. I don't even have a graphics card in my computer, a discrete graphics card. You know why I don't? Because the prices are too jacked up for me to afford it, just like the little guy. And I speaking up for the little guy, just to let you know. I'm an old man and I speak up for the little man. Because the little men can't speak up for themselves, I'm going to speak up for the little man. You don't like it, don't watch it. Moving on down the road. Let's see how many pages we can turn without getting into a fight on Graphics Card Nightmare. Guarantee it. See this? I wouldn't get this. Even if it's $79.99, it's a joke. I know it, I've tested it, and I know it. It's a joke. See, right here. Who in the hell can afford $878 and they only make $230 a week? And they have to pay rent, they have to pay everything else. And, these AIB partners don't wake up and smell the coffee anytime soon. You're going to lose your consumer base by overcharging. So wake up and kind of get that Folgers in between your nostrils. Stop putting out this crap. And like the 3090. Come on, guys. 3090. You're already selling a card and you're already selling the 4090 for $1,600, and you're going to sell the 3090 for $1,900. Wake up. Wake up and smell the coffee. Bring the price down on some of these cards. Now, and I'm going to say this, and I want to say this very carefully, and do understand. I'm looking out for the consumer, and you big companies, don't get it wrong and don't get butthurt about this. I'm speaking my mind because the consumer comes into my emails telling me what you're doing, and they're telling me that they're getting mad over the fact of all these overcharged prices. I know Amazon's not the only one that's sitting there doing that and price jacking everything. And trust me, you keep price jacking, you're going to price yourself right out of the competition where somebody else is going to pick up your slack, and guess what? They're going to take the business. That's basically how business works. See, like $559 for a 3070, that's way too high. 3060, look at this. Okay, 3070, 3060. Okay, think very carefully. Think very carefully. 3070 has 8 gigabytes, 256. What, are you basing your cards on the amount of bit rate they have? Are you serious? Anything that's over 64 bit, okay, 64 bit breaks you even. Anything over 64 bit to 128, and it goes times 2, times 3, times 4, times 5. You haven't even reached times 5 yet. So when it comes to the bit rate, you've only gotten over to about 300 bit. You haven't reached a 4 to 5 to 600 bit yet. These prices are ridiculous. And I'm going to tell you, these prices are ridiculous. Ridiculous. $600. Look at this. RX 550. I mean, 149, and that's somebody else's brand name. China 3050, 289. On and on and on and on. Okay, look, this comes to the deal. All right, we're just going to get to the brass of this, right? Now the thing is this: customers going to look at you like, this is my conclusion. This is my conclusion to you. This is the ending and the conclusion of this segment. But I'm going to tell you like this: customers are going to be severely upset. They're not going to like the prices, and I don't care. You can take. I mean, you can go to anybody's channel and say, have them say to you, "Well, the prices are coming down. The prices are coming down." You know what? The hell they are. They ain't coming down. Not in nvidia. They ain't coming down. Not anytime soon. And I don't even expect them to be coming down till mid of next year. That's 2023, mid of next year. I don't expect them prices to come anywhere near down till mid of next year. AMD, on the other hand, they might. AMD might have the market cornered by 2023. And the way it's looking, they might have it, just to let you know. So, but anyway, if you like my videos, make sure you subscribe. It would help out the channel. We're still working towards 1,000 subscribers. That's our first goal. And we're working towards getting 4,000 watch hours. So the more videos you watch, the better we're off. And once we hit our goals, I will announce it. And then, we'll go from there. And we'll work towards the next goal. My overall goal is to have a billion. I'm going to say a billion. This is my ultimate goal is 1 billion. So anyway, until the next video, this is JJ, your boy. We will see you on the next one. Do you have a nice night and happy Thanksgiving anyway.